how middle managers can become true leaders. Leadership is not a position. It's a choice. Most people spend their lives waiting for a promotion, a title, or recognition before they allow themselves to lead. But true leadership has never depended on hierarchy. It begins in the quiet moments when no one is watching. When you decide to act not because it's your job, but because it's the right thing to do. Leadership is the courage to stand up for values, to protect others when it's inconvenient, and to take responsibility even when you don't have to. It's not written on an office door. It's written in your actions. In every organization, there are people who have authority, but no influence. And there are people who have no authority, but inspire everyone around them. The difference is simple. Authority demands respect. Leadership earns it. When a middle manager chooses to listen instead of dictate, to guide instead of control, that's leadership in motion. You don't have to change the world overnight. Start by changing the tone of your meetings, the trust in your conversations, and the hope in your team. Leadership starts with one person deciding to make things better for others, even when no one has asked them to. Many middle managers struggle because they believe they are stuck in the middle, too low to lead, too high to follow. But the truth is, this is where real leadership is most needed. You are the bridge between vision and execution, between those who decide and those who deliver. How you behave determines whether your team feels inspired or exhausted. You can become the example your people look to. When things get hard, the calm in the chaos, the one who reminds them why they began this journey. Leadership is not about knowing all the answers. It's about asking the right questions. It's about saying, I don't know, but we'll find out together. When you remove the mask of authority and replace it with authenticity, people will start to follow you not because they must, but because they believe in you. They will trust your intentions because they can feel your humanity. And that's where true influence begins, not in power, but in purpose. So, if you want to be a leader, don't wait for a title. Start where you are, with what you have, and with the people around you. Leadership is not granted. It's chosen every single day. And the moment you make that choice, you stop being a manager and start becoming the person others choose to follow. The greatest mistake most middle managers make is believing that leadership begins when someone notices them. They wait for validation, for permission, for someone to say, "Now you're ready." But leadership doesn't start when others believe in you. It starts when you believe in yourself. The truth is, no one ever feels fully ready to lead. Confidence doesn't precede leadership, it follows it. Every leader you admire once stood where you are now, uncertain, anxious, questioning whether they were capable. What separates them is not talent, not luck, but a decision they chose to act despite doubt. When you start leading from where you are, small moments begin to change everything. It's in how you respond when a team member struggles. It's in how you admit when you're wrong. It's in how you stand up for someone when they're not in the room. Leadership isn't revealed in grand speeches or strategic plans. It's revealed in how you treat people when the spotlight is off. When your actions consistently align with integrity, people will trust you more than the one with the corner office. Middle managers often live in a space of tension. The pressure from above and the responsibility to support those below. It's easy to feel trapped, to think that you're just carrying out someone else's orders. But here's the truth. You have far more influence than you think. Every message from the top passes through you. You can either pass it on with fear, confusion, and frustration, or you can translate it into hope, clarity, and purpose. You are the lens through which your team sees the organization. If that lens is clean, honest, empathetic, and steady, your people will see clearly. If it's clouded by cynicism or fear, everything looks distorted. True leadership happens in the middle, because that's where human connection is strongest. You are close enough to feel the team's struggles and high enough to impact decisions that shape their future. When you use that position not for control, but for care, your influence multiplies. You become the emotional anchor of your team, the one who reminds them they matter. Leadership isn't about standing above, it's about standing beside. And the irony is, when you stop trying to climb, people start to lift you higher. They see your consistency, your courage, and your heart. And that's when trust turns into loyalty. So stop waiting for someone to give you authority. Lead where you are as you are. Because the moment you do, you'll realize you were never in the middle. You were always at the heart. Middle managers often struggle because they feel invisible, caught between two worlds. They are expected to execute the vision of those above them, while inspiring those below them. It's a constant balancing act, and it can feel exhausting. But the greatest challenge isn't the workload or the pressure. It's the feeling of not being seen as a leader. You're doing the work, carrying the team, solving problems no one else wants to touch, and yet recognition often goes elsewhere. That invisibility can create bitterness if you let it, but it can also become your greatest strength if you learn to lead not for validation, but for impact. The truth is, leadership isn't about being seen, it's about making others feel seen. If your team feels valued, if they know they can rely on you, you are already leading, even if your title doesn't say so. The best leaders don't command attention, they create environments where others thrive. Your influence doesn't come from shouting the loudest or standing at the front of the room. It comes from listening deeply, encouraging growth, and protecting the people who trust you. When middle managers focus too much on climbing the ladder, they begin to treat people as rungs, as means to an end. But when they shift their mindset and start nurturing others, something beautiful happens. Their team starts climbing with them. True leadership is not a competition for recognition. It's a responsibility to elevate those around you. The paradox is that when you genuinely stop chasing visibility and focus on serving, you become visible in a way that matters through the respect and loyalty of your people. Every organization has people in the middle who hold it together quietly. They don't make headlines or speeches. They hold late night meetings, check in on stressed teammates, and remind everyone of the why behind the what. These are the moments where leadership is born in humility, not hierarchy. Leadership is the courage to act on principles, even when no one is watching. So, if you're a middle manager wondering when your time will come, remember your time is now. Every day, you have a chance to create belonging, to give purpose, and to shape culture. You are not a messenger between levels. You are a bridge between people. And bridges may not always be glamorous, but they carry the weight that makes everything else stand. That's what true leadership looks like, not in title, but in quiet, consistent influence that transforms the lives around you. Purpose is what separates those who manage from those who lead. Most middle managers are taught to chase performance, to hit targets, meet deadlines, and report results. And yes, those things matter. But when performance becomes the only goal, people begin to feel like replaceable parts in a machine. They show up because they have to, not because they want to. A true leader changes that. A true leader reminds people why they're doing what they do. When you connect your team to purpose, you light a fire that no performance metric ever could. You help them see that their work isn't just about meeting quarterly goals. It's about contributing to something bigger. Think about it. People don't get inspired by spreadsheets or sales charts. They get inspired when they feel part of a mission, when their work touches lives, when they know that what they do matters. When a manager helps them see that meaning, the results follow naturally. The irony is most managers are under so much pressure to deliver results that they forget the very thing that produces them. Motivated people. You can't pressure someone into passion. You can't order commitment, but you can ignite it. You can create a space where people believe that their work has a purpose beyond profit. And once they feel that, they'll run through walls for it. Because people don't give their best for money or recognition alone. They give their best for meaning. Purpose is not something you announce in a meeting. It's something you demonstrate every day. When you make decisions that reflect your values, your team sees it. When you choose integrity over convenience, they notice. And when they see that consistency, they begin to trust you. Trust turns into loyalty. Loyalty turns into ownership. And ownership turns into performance. That's the real sequence of success, not the other way around. So, if you're a middle manager trying to become a true leader, stop asking, how do I get my team to work harder? And start asking, how do I make their work more meaningful? Help them see their contribution to the larger story. Celebrate their progress, not just their productivity. Remind them of the lives they impact, the customers they help, the colleagues they support, the difference they make. Because performance fades when pressure stops. But purpose sustains people through uncertainty, failure, and change. When you lead with purpose, you create a culture where people don't just work. They belong, and in that belonging lies the heart of leadership. Leadership is never about managing systems. It's about nurturing people. Too many middle managers get trapped in the machinery of process. The reports, the approvals, the endless meetings. They become guardians of procedure instead of builders of people. Processes are essential. Yes, they bring order, predictability, and efficiency. But if all you do is maintain a process, you will never inspire a soul. People don't follow checklists. They follow conviction, empathy, and belief. A true leader understands that the heartbeat of any organization is not the system, but the people who make it breathe. When a manager starts leading people instead of just running processes, everything changes. Deadlines become commitments, not threats. Meetings turn into moments of clarity, not confusion. Communication becomes a two-way street instead of a command chain. Leadership at its core is about human connection, about understanding what drives, scares, and inspires those who work with you. It's about knowing your people not just by their titles, but by their stories. Because when people feel understood, they also feel valued. And when they feel valued, they give their best willingly, not fearfully. Leading people means seeing potential where others see problems. It means believing in someone's growth even when they doubt themselves. It means giving your time, your patience, and sometimes even your comfort to help others rise. That's not easy. It requires humility, the willingness to say, I'm here to serve, not to control. A true leader doesn't need to prove authority. They earn respect through consistency, empathy, and courage. But here's the paradox. The more you invest in people, the stronger your processes become. Because inspired people fix broken systems. Motivated people improve structures. Engaged people make organizations resilient. It's never the other way around. You can have the best process in the world, but if your team feels unseen or untrusted, it will eventually crumble. Processes don't build loyalty, people do. So, if you want to become a true leader, start by shifting your focus. Don't ask, how do I make this system work better? Ask, how do I make my people stronger? Empower them, listen to them, and trust them enough to take ownership. When they fail, protect them. When they succeed, celebrate them. When they struggle, guide them. Because leadership isn't about managing what people of do. It's about caring who they are. In the end, the best leaders are remembered not for the processes they perfected, but for the people they shaped. The systems may change, the titles may fade, but the impact on human hearts lasts far longer. That's what true leadership looks like.